organization promoting mental health for children in the U.S. and has free tools and information developed by experts.
Having those resources is the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
Check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 25 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Right now, there is a widespread power outage in parts of Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair. It's estimated some 4,000 people without power right now. Bethel Park police say due to those downed power lines, they have closed Bethel Church Road. That's between Drake and Alton. Also in Upper St. Clair, McMurray Road is closed in front of the St. Louis Church area. Now, West Penn Power expects the power to be restored to residents by about 11:30 this morning. Former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife are in custody and will face a judge later this week. Here's CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez with the latest.
Capturing Maduro was an audacious snatch-and-grab operation in Venezuela in the early hours of Saturday morning. A swarm of U.S. military helicopters, special forces units known as the Night Stalkers, descended on Caracas. Explosions lit up the sky, and within 2.5 hours of U.S. forces touching down, Maduro and his wife were in custody.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with CBS's Face the Nation just moments ago. He was asked about the U.S. occupation in Venezuela.
What the president has said, obviously, is, and I think what he's pointing to is that this obsession people have about boots and this or that. He does not feel like he is going to publicly, rule out options that are available for the United States, even though that's not what you're seeing right now. What you're seeing right now is an oil quarantine.
In other news, police in Aliquippa investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. The incident happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they arrested 21-year-old Judea Wincop in connection to the stabbing. Pittsburgh police investigating a reported stabbing early this morning in Lawrenceville. It happened around 4:15 this morning on Butler Street. The victim had a wound to the ribs. That person was taken to the hospital, is expected to recover. Police say so far the victim has been uncooperative with the investigation. Well, major changes coming today that will affect the daily commute of thousands of Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus riders. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
The outbound bus lane on 5th Avenue, which runs against traffic in Oakland from Carlo to just past the University of Pittsburgh, is being discontinued. Instead, outbound buses will flow along with general traffic on Forbes Avenue. Eventually, the curbside lane on Forbes will become a buses-only lane. PRT Chief Development Officer Amy Silberman says this project is focused on efficiency.
Today, they get very bunched up because they have unreliable conditions. Once they get bunched up, we end up with big gaps in service where you might wait a really long time to then get on a really overcrowded bus.
PRT admits you should expect heavier congestion at first on Forbes, but PRT police and others will be monitoring to make sure traffic flows, and they'll be watching out for illegal loading and unloading. In all, 17 outbound 5th Avenue stops are being eliminated, and 9 routes are being moved onto Forbes. David Ballarado, News Radio KDKA.
KDK Radio News Time, 11:03. The AccuWeather forecast next.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon, the high near 30. Mainly cloudy tonight, low 24. And then a little bit warmer tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, high into the mid-40s. We'll see a little bit of rain Tuesday afternoon, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm John Fierk, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and More.
You know, I was at Mr. DeMarco's house Friday. I should have taken some cannolis with me, but maybe next time, Coach. It's great to see you at Metropolitan Window video screen. You can see it and hear it stream live, KDKRadio.com. Click on KDK Watch. The Counselor, Diola's Law, Milk and Honey Entertainment. We're going to get to it quickly. We're not going to look back. We're going to look ahead. We're going to get right to the Fiesta Bowl. You were talking about this guy Friday as we went live at your house doing a little social media stuff. Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss, he has been a pleasant surprise, has he not, Coach? Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Incredible story. Division II kid, came to Ole Miss as a backup. And their starter gets hurt. He's now in the portal. And this kid's flying around, playing with his hair on fire. I mean, some of the plays he made, I really believe he was the difference in that game against Georgia. I mean, that's some big time. That's a big time statement.
You know, it was the kid was amazing. I mean, they've nicknamed him Winidad instead of Trinidad, but they should have called him Houdini or the Matrix, because how he escaped from some of those plays, and he had the audacity to go back like 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage for the one and to create a first down. But he had a little bit of Mahomes about him with the one scramble where he flipped the ball kind of backhanded, like a shuttle pass type of play. I mean, the guy he's so creative. It's amazing what he's able to do, and those guys are all rallying around him.
Well, you use Mahomes. That's a good one. My guy's actually coaching him. So, Girardi's actually coaching Mahomes. I don't remember David ever doing that at Geneva. And then the other guy that did it was Fran Tarkington. And Fran Tarkington, maybe that's a better example for us that are older, because I think he was a Georgia guy. So maybe that would sting a little bit more with the Bulldogs.
He was a Georgia guy. But listen, you were also schooling me on the new U, as in Miami University. I was trying to compare them to the Jimmy Johnson, very physical team, Ray Lewis, Michael Irvin, still on the sidelines rooting the U on. And you said, look, it's a different Miami team with this coach. Explain to me once again so the audience can hear what you said when we were doing some social media stuff on Friday. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, we've all seen the documentaries. We lived through it. We've seen them play. They were incredible. I mean, the U, Jimmy Johnson, and who they had at the head coach. It just all hit at that time with what was going on culturally, and let's just say those guys left a legacy. He's trying to honor them. This guy's trying to honor them, but he's not replicating them. He's building this in a different way with the offensive line and power running. And we saw it against Pitt. And I had said that time that I felt that the offensive line at Miami was one of the best, if not the best in the country. And that's how he's doing it now.
Yeah, it's funny. Mario Cristobal basically, he was at the tail end of the greatness of Miami when he played, but he's really cut his teeth. He's paid his dues too with all the places that he has coached. Not every place has been a success story for him, but this, and when he made a few boneheaded plays when in his first couple of years there, where everybody was not everybody, but a lot of people were calling for his head. But he has certainly built it, as you say, Coach. Built it from the inside out, from the trenches out. So that and he's got Pittsburgh native Jason Taylor is their defensive line coach, and that defensive line that they've got with the Bain kid, they are really quite impressive with what they do. They've got the best right tackle in college football. So it's old fashioned or old school when you talk about building from the trenches out as opposed to looking for a star.
You hit it right on the head right there, and it's not as glamorous, if you will. But it's very effective, and Miami is, let's just call it what it is. Miami is in the ACC, and they're playing like a Big Ten team. An old Big Ten team. Let's put it that way.
Good analogy. Okay, let's move on. January 9th, Peach Bowl. Indiana and Oregon. Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza leading the efficient offense and a defense. Their status, top contender, no doubt. 10.3 points per game. The Hoosiers, by the way, enter a 4.5-point favorite against Oregon. So let's not just focus on Mendoza, but let's talk about Curt Cignetti and his defense at Indiana. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, I think the way he's built this thing is just remarkable. I mean, coaches talking about it, the way he attacked the transfer portal, knowing exactly the type of player he wanted to get. And let's look at word alignment, because none of this happens unless there's total alignment. And it started with Indiana wanting to invest and become a football school. They saw the value of football. They saw the revenue it would generate. And, this is alignment through and through. And to be able to win championships, you have to have total alignment. But, half of me is rooting for Curt because he's a, local guy. He's a West Virginia guy, was a quarterback there. And he's just down to earth, old school. But it's the same way with him. I mean, he's coaching these guys extremely hard. He's a perfectionist. And, look, the kid, he got a quarterback. My question to you guys is, if Mendoza isn't in the picture, what's Indiana look like?
It's a good question. We don't know because we don't know even stylistically what they would do. He's basically taken almost 100% of their snaps and has been just remarkable. And as Pittsburgh guys, at least I remember him at Cal last year when they couldn't score 13 points against Pitt, who, let's face it, Pitt wasn't the greatest defense in the country last year, and he struggled. He struggled to even start at Cal, and then he moves over and becomes what he is. He's a great story. He's very Joe Burrow-esque when it comes to that, where coming into his senior season wasn't even on the draft calendar or on the draft prediction sheets, and now he's most likely going to be the number one overall pick. It's an interesting contrast in styles when you talk the old-fashioned type of drop-back passer that he plays at Indiana as compared to what Oregon's doing.
Or what Ole Miss is playing with. I mean, it's
right.
Just contrasting styles, no doubt.
Okay, so let me throw out a scenario. You being a former college coach and a good one for over 3 decades. So all kinds of names are being tossed out. Who could be the next coach in waiting at these different NFL locations? Stefanski, some saying 2 times coach of the year. He could be out in Cleveland. And this is starting to gain some momentum. And I know he just signed a big deal, but Curt Cignetti's name has popped up. Marcus Freeman still being connected to possibly going to the Steelers. So it's all over the place. But, we've seen college coaches, even the great Nick Saban, try to matriculate to the pros. He goes to Miami, falls flat, doesn't work. The great Lou Holtz was with Namath and the Jets for a year. That didn't work. But with his name, image, and likeness and how most of them have general managers now and they're paying and it's becoming more of a pro game, you first, counselor, do you think that this could actually help some of these collegiate coaches take the next step and be successful at the professional level?
Well, the model is much more similar to the professional model now. Now, this is the first real year that we've had it the way that it is now. I mean, with Milk and Honey, we must have 25 guys that we're representing that are either in the portal or negotiating deals with their original school. And it's a whole new source of revenue for us, but it's a whole new source of revenue for the players too. Each of these kids is no longer are they just getting a scholarship, but they're making money as a result of playing collegiately, and it's changing the dynamic. You're seeing a lot more guys. Very few guys are going to jump early to the draft unless they know they're a first-round pick now, because they're making so much money from the schools. So it's going to change the influx of talent that's going into the NFL. It's probably going to create better talent in the collegiate level, but as we've already seen, more parity in the collegiate level, because so many schools are going to be able to retain more talent for a longer period of time. You're going to have better play.
What do you think about that, Coach?
Well, Greg, the thing that is really interesting is the amount of money. Like, the people don't understand these guys that are a power four and they're starters. And there's a price tag to each one of them, and it's hefty. And I know that's why you're smiling, and you should, because I believe in capitalism. This is something that I have done for the last 33 years, man. It's tried to build a roster and maintained it. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. And unless you have something that you can hold football players to, the enticement of always going to the next level, whether you're a small college, or the enticement of going to another place because you have an opportunity to make money, and you may not make it in the NFL. That's the one point that some of these kids are doing, Greg, because they're probably not good enough for the league, but they're good enough to go out and if they were smart, they'd take this big chunk of money and invest it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and we're going to get you on the other side to give us your picks as far as the Fiesta and Peach Bowl. But you get a nice chunk of cash, you can buy a home, you can establish yourself, you can wait for the right job, you can invest some of that money. So you have like a 401k that you would have 30, 40 years down the road right in your hand. Listen, when I got into this business, I actually had to pay the employer to actually work at the radio station. So the world is changing. And you think I'm kidding. That's a fact. So I want to see these young athletes, these young men and women get an opportunity to have a nest egg, because I know what hard work is.
There ain't 6 kids that are putting money in 401ks. They're putting money into Ferrari Ks and jewelry and that type of thing. It's the live for the present.
Well,
tongue-in-cheek, sort of.
I know what you mean. Go ahead, Gino, quickly.
That's the thing right there, that somebody has got to get in their head and get them to understand, put some of it away.
Amen.
I mean, wouldn't it be great to have some sort of, you can't force legislation on people's decisions. And that's the thing that's really irritating. These kids they're great enough athletically to get big money, but they're not intelligent, or let's put it this way, not mature enough to understand this stuff's going to dry up. And yeah, you can blow through $1 million real quick.
All right.
I'm sure Greg's got examples of people that have done that their entire professional life.
All right, listen, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get his picks as far as the Fiesta Peach Bowl, and then Bob Dvorak rolls in. We talk about the history of the Modell Browns that ended up in Baltimore, some of his memories of this matchup. We talk about the legacy of Ozzie Newsome and why he really was the reason why Baltimore did make the transition and have so much success. So all of that still to come, plus we pick our weekly winners against the spread. Mike Leon, Ted Arnaud, Greg Diolis in your Pratt Pack. And, of course, the Steelers tonight, winner take all for the conference title against Baltimore here in Pittsburgh. They are a 3.5-point underdog. We'll be right back.
Your source for everything that's news. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Support St. Anthony school programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy sessions, and job skills development. Serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find St. Anthony school programs within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, they have empowered students of all faiths to live independently and and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at StAnthonyKids.org.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
You know, you made me think of something earlier, Gino. You said hair on fire, and I thought about the late, great Michael Jackson and that Pepsi commercial and how things really work out. I started thinking about what we were all talking about going into the break. My friend, the late, great Frank DeLeo, who was his manager and did so many incredible things in the industry of entertainment, starred in Goodfellas, was Taylor Dane's manager, was one of my closest friends on the planet. And when he came back to live in the town that his wife grew up in Wellsville, Ohio, we started having these daily meetings. And what he wanted to do, he wanted me to get him in with some of these organizations, not to work for them, but he wanted to mentor these young athletes and talk about investing money and how to do an interview and, you know, to groom yourself. Kind of what Berry Gordy did with Motown back in the 60s. So when you think about it, they do need a mentor, these athletes, to explain to them, you know, spend 5 but bank 10, right, Gino?
Well, I mean, we can say that now we're mature. Well, I mean, most of us, you two are. We're mature and we're intelligent, question mark. It has to happen. It has to happen. I got to tell you, there's a guy named Nick Saban.
Yep.
Lou Saban actually offered me a job. That's another story. That guy was intense. He was nuts. We'd have worked really well together. But Nick Saban can be the guy that could maybe bring all the entities together and say, let's just make some common sense out of this. Let's not cut the kids out of their money, okay? But let's have some common sense on what's going on, especially lining up the dates of when the portal opens, when school opens, things like that.
Yeah, Nick said he believes they need a commissioner. He said he'd even be willing to be a part as a consultant, non-paid consultant. Last thing, what about like a trust fund? If you're an agent, you're an attorney, do you at least tell these athletes that you might want to consider that, Greg?
Well, I was just going to say, you know, Gino brought up a great point, and maybe it's the idea of let's try to return this whole thing back to amateurism. That in order to play in the collegiate football, you need to be an amateur. And if you remember when the Olympics first started to allow payments made, they basically were saying you can get paid, but you can't get the money until you're done participating in your sport. So the money had to be in essence, a trust fund that would save. It was protecting the athlete against themselves, right? Against these crazy expenditures, and that may be a way to go to say, hey, you can negotiate this all you want, but you can't touch it if you still want to play football.
Well, listen, I'll close on this note. You know, I'm very humble as far as I started in this business, but then because of hard work, I kind of skyrocketed because I create this network outside of KDKA, who's been great to me since day one. But I was an easy hit, and the problem that I had, I couldn't help but not help people who needed money. And, you know, you start forgetting about, you got to save some of that for yourself. And I got to believe a lot of these athletes have the people like want to buy mom a house, want to get a car. I got a friend that kind of grew up with me. I want to help them out. So I understand a lot of them leave with their hearts, been there, done that. But you got to look at the big picture.
Well, Rob, it's a lot like what you see with people who hit lottery tickets.
Amen.
You know, so many of those people end up, destitute because people hit them up for loans and all the different things that happen, and a lot of those lottery winners just don't know how to handle it.
Well, this is my answer to everything. I live under the 9th Street Bridge in Monaca now, and in a little refrigerator box. Nobody bothers me, and I help people when they need it, but I make sure I have enough to feed myself. So just hope that some of these athletes do the right thing long term, because it really is a gift at such a young age. Okay, Miami favored by 3.5. Who do you like in that game? You first.
What they shown, it's almost like, once you get to the dance, once you get to the party, maybe you can be the hot team like Villanova in '85, the Villanova basketball team. I kind of look at that one similarly. Miami is so hot right now. Maybe they're the deal.
Who do you like, Gino DeMarco?
I do like Miami. As much as Trinidad is just making plays, I think that Miami run game and defense going to win.
Gino, was Carson Beck, who was obviously speaking of transfers from other places, a transfer from Georgia to Miami. The last time we saw him at the end of last year, he was dislocating his shoulder when he was trying to throw a pass and they grabbed onto his arm. He's been a rather pleasant surprise to the whole Miami fan base, I believe.
Well, he's embraced it. And he's making, some great decisions, but he's part of the scheme. I don't know if Carson Beck could ever be the guy leading the parade, but he's got a pretty big. Let's just say he's in the front of the parade. All right, he may not be able to lead the parade, but yeah, I mean, all these guys have quarterbacks. I'm telling you, the years that I didn't have a quarterback. All right, I was thinking about maybe going back into selling groceries. You have to have a quarterback. I mean, a really good quarterback to be here.
And one of the things you need.
By the way, I was not included in that discussion about people that grew up with money or had big money. I noticed you guys left me out of that. Go to the next one, Rob.
All right. By the way, it is Indiana, favored by 4. BetRivers.net. Great place to watch all the bowl action this week. So who do you like in that matchup, Greg?
Yeah, I just think that Indiana is going to lead the charmed life and run the table and be like the undefeated Miami Dolphins team. They're going to get to the number of wins that kind of equals what the Dolphins did in '72.
Listen, this Fernando Mendoza, he's everyone's wish. People want to be him the best buddy. You want your daughter to meet him. I'll be honest with him. I don't want him to be my roommate. He's too boring for me. But I really like this kid, and he's everything that's good with the world in college football. So, Gino, who do you like? Indiana getting 4.
First of all, Rob, you need Mendoza in your life. All right, so let's get past this. We've got to go with Indiana. I mean, come on, it's Signetti. I mean, it's our backyard. It's in our blood. We need something of some sort of Pittsburgh, West Virginia connection to be able to be happy about in the off season. We have to. By the way, milk and honey. I know where you got that tagline from. I just left church. Call me. I'm available.
There you go.
By the way, Papa Gigi's Italian sauce, of course, the restaurant in Boardman. Gino is already promoting it. So, Gino, one night, today's National Spaghetti Day, we'll have to get some of that Papa Gigi sauce and make some pasta, okay?
I gave him his own tagline.
I know you did. Give it again.
Gigi's Italian sauce. When you can't make your own.
Beautiful.
That's great, man. That's great. Listen, give me the Steelers. I got to get to a break. They're favored. They're getting 3.5. So the other team's the favorite, but the Steelers getting 3.5. Baltimore tonight. Who do you like?
I like the Steelers.
Can you tell me why in 30 seconds?
Why? Because they're going to, I don't know if the guy's playing from the other side. I don't know if
he is.
We got Watt back. We're playing in Pittsburgh. It's one last thing. It's what Pittsburgh does. It's what, we lose things. We lose against teams we should lose against, and we'll beat teams we shouldn't beat. They're going to stop the run, and hopefully Rodgers will be able to find a few plays.
All right, Gino, we'll talk to you next week, and we'll have some results and get ready for the championship on January 19th. Have a very blessed day. Thank you, sir.
All right. See you, fellas. Thank you very much.
See you, Gino.
We'll be back. Boy, he married up.
Yeah.
He's got a great wife. Oh, I mean, his family. Remember the Waltons on television?
Yeah.
It should be the DeMarcos. Good night, John Boy. Just good people. All right, short break. We'll be right back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-823-5544. That's 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKA-radio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 26 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Still a widespread power outage in parts of Bethel Park and Upper St. Clair. Some 4,000 people still without power as power is attempting to be restored by West Penn Power. Now, Bethel Park police say as of now, due to those down power lines, Bethel Church Road is closed between Drake and Alton. In Upper St. Clair, McMurray Road is closed in front of the St. Louis Church area. West Penn Power expects residents to have their power restored within the next 20 to 30 minutes is a projection. Pittsburgh police are investigating a reported stabbing earlier this morning in Lawrenceville. It happened around 4:15 this morning along Butler Street. Victim had a wound to the rib cage. That person was taken to the hospital, is expected to recover. Police say so far the victim has been uncooperative with the investigation. KDK Radio News Time 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDK.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great. Join Mark Patrick's Hypnosis, Lose the Weight, or Stop Smoking, only $59.99. Seminar Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight loss hypnosis, 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is a message from your sponsor, Intuit TurboTax. This year, file your taxes with TurboTax and hand everything off to one of the thousands of experts who can get you filed online with 100% accuracy. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in the iOS mobile app.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon, the high near 30. Mainly cloudy tonight, low 24. Not as cold tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high 45. Considerable clouds Tuesday, a little rain in the afternoon, high 49. We're AccuWeather. I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, here we go. Big weekend. We'll be back on Monday to talk about all things Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch you on Monday, right here, KDK.
Look, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but I'm not a big believer in the Steelers advancing tonight. I hope I'm flat out wrong. You know I'm going to take them. We got Bob Dvorak here, so we're going to indulge me and talk some Pirate baseball with you. a baseball fan as well, Mr. Diolis. And then we'll talk Steelers and all the other stuff in the next segment. Kazuma Okamoto reportedly agreed to a deal with the Blue Jays, the Japanese third baseman, 327, 15 homers, 69 RBI last year. I wanted him in Pittsburgh. It didn't happen. And then I've got a few other notes to kind of tie into what I'd like to discuss with the Pirates. But why did we not get this guy? They got Guerrero. They got enough up there in Toronto. How is it that we didn't get this guy?
I think it has to do with how much money, how big was the check, how big is your pocketbook, right?
Man, we needed this guy. Anyway, here's the deal, Mr. Dvorak. Some questions going into spring training in the season. Bolstering the offense, they finished last in the MLB in runs, home runs, OPS 2025. Desperate need for multiple impact bats, specifically at first base, outfield, and shortstop. Brandon Lau obviously is going to help them with that. But what about Mitch Keller and a lot more? The Pirates, are you getting a little optimistic, Mr. Dvorak? One of the greatest sports writers in the history of this great community, representing my favorite brand, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning to you, gentlemen. Happy 2026 and Auld Lang Syne and all that stuff. Great to be with you guys. What a big day in town, huh? Yeah, the Pirates, as I mentioned before, Rob, are getting dangerously close to having a major league lineup. So there's reason to pay attention in spring training, but I would caution you, just go back to like the last 48 years, you might tamp down that enthusiasm just a little bit. Let's see what they do. I always say, don't write them off beforehand. Let's see what they do on the field.
Yeah, well, but the good part about it is at least there has been something to talk about this offseason, something that is a sign of life, a sign of somebody who cares in the upper echelon of the administration that says, hey, we want to win. Let's put something together here. And it wasn't all just go out and buy a guy. It was make some trades, use some of that stockpile of where your strength is and take care of, reduce your strengths a little bit, but add to your weak or try to fix your weaknesses, which they did, getting rid of, a decent pitcher, a good starting pitcher in Burrows, but getting something back that was desperately needed.
Well, I agree with you that, that there's been some buzz, there's been some movement, but didn't they have to? I mean, after last year, and I think the uproar from the fans, it was like, hey, you better do something. Come on. And I think Paul Skeens had something to do with this, too. I mean, you got the best pitcher in baseball. You got to surround him with some stuff and give him a chance. And I think he was key in at least initiating some of the moves that he wanted to see a stronger team out there. Now, they have given us something to talk about in the hot stove league. It's snowing outside, and it's going to be cold, so you got to get something to get you through January and February before the pitchers and catchers report.
Do you ever sit here and listen to him talk and realize we are surrounded by royalty? This is one of the greatest journalists that Pittsburgh has ever known. I mean, his byline when he covered the Pirates, I mean, it was gold. I mean, this guy is truly one of the best to ever put pen to paper.
Well, he's a little bit like listening to Edgar Allan Poe speak because he's got a little bit of a dark side about him, but the words are so poetic and they just ring so well on your ears.
I'll tell you, when I think of him when I'm watching an old Buddy Hackett thing on YouTube, he's got that quick wit. I love Bob Dvorak. It could be my last day on earth, knock on wood. Hopefully it's not. But as I get a little bit of Dvorak, everything's right with the world, man.
Well, so now that we're doing that, I'm going to argue with him a little bit. Because, Bobby, you made one statement. You said, well, didn't the Pirates have to do something like they did? And I think the answer is no, because for years they didn't do anything, and it didn't reflect negatively on the gate. It didn't reflect negatively on their pocketbook because they were still making money. Apparently, we don't see the books in Major League Baseball.
Before you get to answer, let me argue with him a bit. O'Hearn coming in, Lau coming in. I think they're going to get another one. Jared Jones coming back. And if we can somehow hang on to Mitch Keller, and losing Chapman was a major blow. They should have never let him go. But I really do see a lot of good. I'm excited about the Pirates.
Well, Soto replaces Chapman. So
yeah.
Chapman's arm's going to fall off eventually.
I still like the Heat, man. I like the Heat. Anyway, go ahead.
Me go
Yeah,
ahead?
yeah, you go ahead. Then Dvorak.
I thought I heard Bobby ready to just bite my head off. So I didn't know.
No.
So no, but I know we say that, and we made all these moves, which is great. But in years past, we didn't do that. So something happened. Some light bulb finally went on within
because of Skeens.
Maybe
he said, "Look, I like to hang." And listen, you look at the Cubs, you look at the Cardinals. We can be competitive with them, Bob.
Oh yeah, the idea is you got to win your division. So yeah, you better be competitive with the Cubs, Cardinals, and Reds, because if you can't get out of your division, you're just spinning your wheels. And Greg, to your point, quoth the Ravens, nevermore.
I love it.
Conjure my best Edgar Allan Poe.
High five all the way around.
I am worried a bit on the rotation, Rob and Greg, because you got Skeens and Keller. And if Jared Jones comes back, but don't forget, Tommy John surgery, it takes a while to get your rhythm, timing, and location down. So there's a little question mark on Jared Jones going in. Who's your 4 and 5? Who's your closer? How does that bullpen work out? What's the front end? What's the back end? But all of these things are going to be, there's no answer right now. They'll be addressed in spring training. And these answers will come to the forefront as the spring and the games go on.
Listen, I don't want to count on this, but it adds a little bit of sweetness to the whole recipe this year. This Connor Griffin kid could be called up. Do you think that's a realistic possibility, or that's just a little bit of hype? I don't know, man. It just makes me anticipate maybe July. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic to lean on that happening because the way that the organization has consistently been with that. If you're leaning on him to be a key piece of the pie, then you're going to bring him up day one. And I don't think that they have that as part of their game.
Here's the thing, though, gentlemen. Just imagine if these guys like O'Hearn and Lau take some of the pressure off and Reynolds actually starts off hot and fast. What about O'Neal Cruz actually coming to life? That's something that maybe we're all hoping for, like we did Gregory Polanco.
Man.
But who knows? He could be the difference maker, Bob.
Well, he's certainly got the bat. You see the swings he takes. Like to see a little bit more discipline at the plate. Again, I think he's getting a little more comfortable in the field. Maybe it's not going to be center field. Maybe it's one of the corner positions. Rob, hitting is contagious. If Reynolds hits, if the new guys hit, and you see some run production, like all of a sudden guys are saying, well, I better get up and do my part too, or I'm going to get shipped out of here. They all want to contribute. They all want to play. They're all competitors.
All right,
so let's see how this chemistry works out with all the new people.
Well, hope better than I did as a senior in high school, because I don't know how I got through chemistry. But anyway, I got to bring this up because I got your brains here, and this guy's a baseball fan to my right. For all of you who have complained about the Pirates, and I get it, imagine what happened to Montreal. I just watched over 3 days this documentary about what happened to the Montreal Expos on Netflix. Philippe Alou was the manager, guys like Gary Carter, Rusty Staub, Tim Raines. And I have a little French-Canadian in my blood. I literally was crying, shedding tears when they lost their baseball team and they went on to Washington to replace the old Washington Senators and thus become the Nationals. Bob, talk about that timeline again. And I'm sure you were at Olympic Stadium in your lifetime. They really love baseball in Montreal. And if I'm the commissioner, I'm talking, expansion. We've seen what's happened in Toronto. I think Montreal should really be considered to have another baseball team again. Go ahead.
Stade Olympique in Montreal. Yeah, one of the great venues. Big concrete dome with the artificial turf. But hey, the people in Montreal, the fans, really thought they got betrayed by Major League Baseball. In 1994, the Montreal Expos, maybe the best team in baseball, they go out on strike, cancel the World Series, and Montreal loses all these stars to free agency, and that's the end of it. And in a couple of years, they pull the plug out and move the franchise to Washington. I don't think they gave baseball in Montreal a very fair shake, Rob. I'm with you. Those people are very passionate. They like their baseball, but they're not going to show up and watch a minor league team get its brains knocked in every night. They had a competitive team, and the whole structure changed.
I mean,
Bob, do you go back to the days? Did you ever have a chance to see them play in Parc Géry?
No, but I talked to people who saw Stargell hit one out of Parc Géry.
Into a swimming pool, right? Wasn't there a swimming pool in behind that?
He hit it out of the ballpark and it landed in the swimming pool. What else can you say about the Stars?
But listen, but they also had Andre Dawson, Larry Walker. Larry Walker from Canada. But how they got
and Vlad Guerrero Sr. too.
Yeah, and absolutely, and how they got messed up. They had a consortium of like 9 owners they were like rats jumping off a ship. They all wanted their piece of the pie, and then they started a fire sale, which would have tore my heart. They were getting rid of all of their top players and getting nothing in return. That was a tragedy in baseball. And
Rob, that was the 1990 Pirates too.
Well, I know. Well,
it was no different.
I remember. I was there. All of them. Bonds, Bonilla, I know. But what I'm saying is, they deserve another opportunity. And if you are going to expand, the commissioner should take a really deep, dark look into why it makes nothing but clear and positive sense to send a team back to Montreal. Okay, Steelers and the history. Modell moves them to Baltimore, where we are now, the rivalry, and more. Mr. Bob Dvorak, award-winning journalist. Bobby, you got anything in the works right now?
You mean as far as work is concerned? Right now, I'm working on my... working on my lazy boy and see where it fits best into my game room. No, I really don't have anything in the works, but there's always something percolating. You know that.
Hey, listen, I got to get your comments. I had Mr. McCausland, the retired colonel, CBS News military analyst, with me on bright and early from his home yesterday. Listen, whether you're for this president or not, one thing I said on the air, this Delta Force, they don't mess around. They literally swoop in, remove the sitting president, some say a dictator, and his wife. They're now in a holding cell in Brooklyn, New York. These guys and gals who are in the military, over 100 aircraft. Talk about amazing our military. Mr. Dvorak, that's something you're well-versed in. You've written a number of books about it. Go ahead.
Listen, the U.S. military can do anything. And Delta Force, based at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, home of the airborne and special ops, these are the elite of the elite. These are the best soldiers that America can produce. My thoughts and concerns were with the people who actually carried out the plan, the operation. Don't forget, their job is to enforce policy, not to make policy. The civilians make policy, and our military carries it out. Now, let's see how it plays out in the in the aftermath. I'd still like to see some proof. I'd like to see the probable cause on the arrest warrant, because you start making regime change has never worked for this country, and yet. People still are saying, well, if we just get rid of this one person, everything will be fine. It doesn't work that way.
Listen, this is a journalist for you. No matter how many times I try to get him out, he comes right back in. He's the best, man. He's the best. Bob Dvorak. We'll talk some Baltimore Steelers next. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, let's go back when Mr. Modell moved this football team, 1995, when you had a coaching staff of Belichick and Saban, and you go to Baltimore. Ozzie Newsome, the former tight end, who was an exceptional All-Pro Hall of Fame tight end, is the real reason why Baltimore had so much success. He was the GM pushing all the right buttons. Talk about that transition and how really tough it was for them to leave Cleveland and the fans lose them. And now Baltimore, no longer Johnny Unitas and the Colts, they have a new team known as the Ravens. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, yeah, that was boy. You talk about tearing the heart out of Cleveland and move that when Modell moved that team and to put it in Baltimore, where they had immediate success. I mean, that was a pretty good football team, and it's taken Cleveland. Well, it's still taking Cleveland all this time to kind of recover. There are more starting quarterbacks in Cleveland in the last 25 years than people voted in the general election, if you look at the stats. But Modell became public enemy number one in Cleveland because of that move. But you can't argue that the Baltimore Ravens achieved success and have been a premier franchise in the NFL. Well, Cleveland has struggled just to become an expansion team trying to get its footing.
Bobby, their move wasn't as legendary as the move that led to this, which was the Colts leaving Baltimore in the middle of the night with the Mayflower moving vans showing up, and all of a sudden they're out of there and nobody saw it coming. They just got completely blindsided. At least Modell gave the community, he said, look, you got to build me a stadium. He was, not threatening, but basically warning them for multiple years leading up to it. And finally, he got a place to move to. I don't think the NFL was real happy with that situation, but they had no way to stop it.
Well, again, this is the business side of the sport, the one that's not as attractive as the product they put on the field. But yeah, Modell wanted the new stadium, and he thought that the city was dragging its feet on it. And I remember that move in the middle of the night with the Colts and thinking, what the heck is going on? I mean, doesn't anybody stay at home anymore? So it was a business deal. It's a business decision. And, money talks. And the other thing walks. How you traveling?
Another great documentary on Netflix is about John Elway. I highly recommend it. And Elway was the guy who told the Colts, I'm not going to come and play for you. I'll go play for the Yankees. He ended up with Denver. Irsay obviously gets the tractor trailer, moves him out of town. But our buddy Ralph Sindrich, your former employer, think about all the connections, obviously to Irsay, to Carmen Policy, our buddy from Boardman, Ohio, who had the 49ers. So it's a very small world, is it not?
It is. And some of the things that those guys were able to do. And then with Carmen Policy being a key element, he along with Dwight Clark, when the Browns when the Browns got a team back, when Cleveland got a team back, it was Carmen Policy and those guys that were hired to build them up, and that didn't work real well.
Listen, Mr. DeBartolo, as far as I'm concerned, he was great for the National Football League. I do want to mention, though, if I can, Bob, when you look at this rivalry, is it as deep as it was with the old Turnpike rivalry with the Browns before coming to Baltimore and the Pittsburgh Steelers? And here's the other thing, too. They promised them a franchise by 1999. I'm not so sure if that would happen today, but back in the day, and still many believe, one of the founding fathers as far as the National Football League, Paul Brown, and that course, that great Cleveland Browns, and he would eventually go on to be the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, which is now under the guidance of his son Mike. So talk about this rivalry in particular, is it as deep as the old Cleveland Browns-Steelers rivalry at this point, Bob?
Oh, I think it might be even more intense. They might have changed the colors and they might have changed the location of the city, but that hatred between the two teams really stayed together. And because of the Ravens' success and the Steelers' success, say, in the last 25 years, as Mike Tomlin would say, one of his Tomlinisms, iron sharpens iron. So, they could play this game in the parking lot tonight without pads, and it would be just as entertaining as what you're going to see on the field.
Okay.
Hey, how about the suits and Park Avenue saying, hey, we got the last game that means anything on a Sunday night. Just wait for the ratings and all the revenue to start pouring in. They really hit it again by tweaking the schedule. It'll come. The regular season comes down to the last game of the season, and maybe it goes into overtime. Who knows?
Hey, Bobby, how about I heard last night if you have Verizon,
you might not
cable,
get the game.
You don't get this game tonight.
So the bars will be busy.
Well, I'll tell you what. There are some issues with viewership, and they better work this out. If somebody's sitting up and saying, I can't find this game, there's going to be some some trouble ahead.
You know where I would be tonight? I would be tonight if I was in Pittsburgh, Park Shanley. I don't know if it's reopened yet or not, but that's where I'd be having a steak, and that's where I'd be watching
Park
the game.
Shanley on Baum Boulevard.
Rob,
Yeah.
Can I tell you one quick anecdote? Because this has happened before. You win or go home.
Go
this
ahead.
has happened to the Steelers, 1963. They had to beat the Giants in Yankee Stadium to win their first title and play the Bears in the championship game. So Ed Brown, the quarterback, who had been known to tip a few, decided to sober up during the week. Come game time, he was 13 for 33 with 3 picks, and the Steelers got crushed and finished in 4th place. So there is precedent, but I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers and Ed Brown have anything in common other than the fact that they play quarterback for the Steelers.
Hopefully, if he hits the ayahuasca during regular seasons, he's hitting it again this week, Bobby.
All right, so Bobby, who do you like in this football game tonight? Steelers getting 3.5.
Well, a wise man who's going to be on your program later on says when the home team on a Sunday night is giving up 3.5 points, that's a pretty good bet. I like the Steelers with the points, but I think it's going to come. I think it's just going to be, who has the ball last. If Boswell kicks a field goal, and it could very well go to overtime. I think it does go to overtime in a low-scoring game. This is going to be. They're both going to try to run the ball because conditions aren't good and their receivers on both sides are out. So I think it's going to be a running game. It's going to be a throwback game. Think back to the 60s. This is going to be that kind of a game.
Which is interesting because did you see that the Steelers selected Kenneth Gainwell as their MVP this week?
Yeah. And he's been their best receiver. He's a running back. He's their best receiver. He's been a really pleasant surprise. And I like the fact that we got a guy on special teams named Skoranek. Somehow that just makes everything fall into place if you're a Steeler.
Sounds like a traffic jam at the top of Green Tree Hill. We've got a Skoranek here.
Or something caught in your throat. Yeah.
Listen, me and you mentioned Mr. Brown. I wonder how this kid Dick Shiner is going to do if he gets in tonight.
Right. And Bill Nelson and Kent Nix. And
I love this franchise. Bobby, we love you. Thank you for spending time with us today, okay?
Well, the love is returned. Believe me. You don't know how much you were loved.
Don't forget, Slivovitz. It's Orthodox Christmas in a couple of days. I've got some on ice.
Nostrovia, boys.
Nostrovia. All right, there he goes, the great Bob Dvorak. On the other side, Mike Leon, Ted Arnaud, picking our weekly winners against the spread.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard.
And one of the things that you've heard a lot about, especially toward the second half of last year, is changes in the healthcare world. CEO of MediConnect, we know him very well, Lance O'Brien.
Things get really, really difficult for some people. So who's being impacted the most? One is early retirees, and usually your middle class.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com,
an appliance and HVAC part solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Warm up your home this winter with a brand new roof from Home Genius Exteriors. Call now and get 50% off all roofing materials plus 0% APR and no payments till 2027. And for a limited time, you can get free attic insulation. Call Home Genius Exteriors now at 855-UR-GENIUS for your free, no-obligation roof and attic inspection. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking. Only $59.99. Weight loss hypnosis Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh, Weston Green Tree at 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis at 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. Walk-ins welcome. Register 30 minutes before.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. There are still many questions about the U.S.'s role in Venezuela following yesterday's overnight U.S. military raid that captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Here's CBS's Linda Kenyon.
On CBS's Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan asked Secretary of State Marco Rubio to clarify President Trump's remark that the U.S. will temporarily run Venezuela.
So just to be clear, there is no plan for U.S. occupation of this country of nearly 30 million people.
The president always retains optionality on anything and on all of these matters. He certainly has the ability and the right under the Constitution of the United States to act against imminent and urgent threats.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are expected to be arraigned Monday in a New York courtroom on charges including drug trafficking. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Here in Pittsburgh, more than 100 people gathered in East Liberty Saturday afternoon to protest the capture of the Venezuelan leader, Maduro. The gathering, held outside East Liberty Presbyterian Church at Penn and Highland Avenues, was organized by the Pittsburgh chapter of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Some held signs that read, quote, "Endless War, Shut It Down." Another sign read, quote, "Peace on Earth." Another sign read, quote, "No blood for oil." Those gathered questioned the true reasons for the capture, whether it was national security related or an attempt to have more power over Latin America and access to oil. Similar protests were held across the country. This morning, 4 people were injured following a house fire in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt and no word on what caused the fire. In Aliquippa, police investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. The incident happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. A 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they arrested 21-year-old Jada Wincop in connection to the stabbing. In the Pittsburgh's Lawrenceville neighborhood, police investigator reported stabbing there. It happened this morning around 4:15 along Butler Street. Victim had a wound to the rib cage. Person was taken to the hospital, expected to recover. Police so far say the victim has been uncooperative with the investigation. KDK Radio News Time, 12:02. AccuWeather forecast 1 minute away.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Burgh with 6 Pittsburgh locations: Beachview, East End, Carnegie, Robinson, Southside, and Wexford. Always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. New York style, yins are made. Sliceonbroadway.com. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at KDKA-radio.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon, the high near 30. Mainly cloudy tonight, low 24. And then a little bit warmer tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, high into the mid-40s. We'll see a little bit of rain Tuesday afternoon, high 49. For AccuWeather, I'm John Fierk, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and More.
All right, so let me kind of just set the table here a little bit. Yesterday, a couple of games, very boring. Seattle gets a win. Tampa Bay gets a win, but Tampa Bay is depending on the Saints to defeat the Falcons. And Carolina, of course, you can just flip the switch. They're hoping that the Falcons get the win. Seeds and buys, all sorts of things at stake. The final weekend in the National Football League, Denver, New England, Jacksonville are all in contention for the top spot with various outcomes in their games, and others like the Chargers resting starters determining who gets crucial first-round buys. AFC North, we know what's on the line. Sunday night matchup, Ravens-Steelers in a direct playoff elimination contest. And the division title, of course, on the line. Jaguars control their destiny, but could fall to a wild card spot if they lose to the Texans today. Texans could actually be the Steelers' first-round opponent. So a lot of different scenarios, but let's begin with yesterday. So Tampa Bay trying, gentlemen, to win their 5th consecutive NFC South title. Are you a Baker Mayfield believer still, Greg Diolis?
Oh, am I a believer? I'm a fan. I don't know that I'm a believer. Yeah, I mean, he did what he needed to do yesterday, but it may not be enough.
Go ahead, Teddy. He's always been your man. Are you still a believer in Baker Mayfield?
I am. I think he does just enough, and I think he's gritty. I think he's got a winning attitude. They're not going to win by a lot. I don't know that they're going to do all that much if they get in the playoffs, but I do believe they get in the playoffs, and we'll give them a shot.
Mike Leon, Leon's Billiards and More. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm a big fan of Baker. I think he's like tough, gritty. You know, he might look bad during some of the game, but a lot of times he comes through at the end. So, yeah, I'm a fan of Baker. A little disappointing how their season ended up. I was really on the bandwagon early in the year. Then the injuries just really caught up to him.
Hey, guys, isn't it interesting that really what the Buccaneers need to happen is for the Saints to do something that's not in their best interest, which would be to win the game? Because the only positive that comes out of a game for the Saints right now is they get a better draft pick, and the better way they get a better draft pick is by losing the game. So what's the incentive to the Saints to win the football game other than pride?
And those two teams really don't like each other. I mean, in Tampa Bay, even they said this is the one time a few players said that I'd actually make a call and ask them for help, because they don't like each other. So
that whole division doesn't, though. That Atlanta New Orleans, that's a little bit of a rivalry. For some reason, I was at one of those games a few years back, and it had a little bit of a venom to it.
All right, so let's talk about this Seattle. Sam Darnold, I don't know if he's rectified his reputation, but you got to give the guy credit. He's had a tremendous year. They're the #1 seed in the NFC. They win the Western Division title. John Lynch actually banging his head in the press box saying, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Let him get in that first down." Kyle Shanahan took it with a grain of salt, saying, "We'll just live to play another day." But Brock Purdy coming off multiple 5-touchdown pass games. Steve Young, Joe Montana, that type of headline. But what I didn't realize until I was watching the postgame, Ward's out, Bose is out. I mean, you're just kind of used to them not being in the lineup, and you're watching more offense and highlights, and then you start to think, how did they get this far? So after last night's performance and all of those key defensive players not being there, and Brock Purdy looked a little human last night, do you give the 49ers any chance in the postseason, Greg?
Oh, man, you got to start with me. And I've been the one that's been knocking Brock Purdy all along, saying they shouldn't have given him the money, that he deserved to be Mr. Irrelevant because he's not that good.
Unless he's your client.
Well, true, but he's got something about him that makes you kind of like him as a performer and kind of pull for him. But I don't think the 49ers are a team of destiny.
Yeah, I don't either. Go ahead, Teddy. Your thoughts?
Well, I think they ran up against a buzzsaw in that Seattle defense. They're very, very good. And I think, San Francisco didn't have all their players. They're probably not going to have all their players in the playoffs, but Seattle is for real.
Wow, defense especially, I think. And Walker III can run that football. Go ahead, Mike, your thoughts on that. Then we're going to start talk a little Steelers-Ravens and then come back and start picking our weekly list. Go ahead, Mike.
I agree with Ted. They probably won't have all their guys back, but I'll tell you, Kyle Shanahan's one of the best coaches in the league. Every time you think they're done, with Purdy out and all that, they still win. I still think they could be a factor in the playoffs, but I'm really on that Seattle bandwagon all year. They're a tough team.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, Mike. I'd be interested in hearing everybody else's input on the advisability of getting the bye week. Winning that game yesterday and getting the bye, or would you rather play a really lackluster Carolina and or Tampa Bay, almost have it as a tune-up game, as your first round playoff game? I'm not so sure it's advisable, especially if you look at what happened in the college playoff and nobody with a bye winning except for Indiana.
Go ahead, Teddy. You first.
I think he hit it right on the point. You go back and look at the college playoffs, getting a bye was almost like a death sentence.
Right.
So, but I think in the pros it's a little bit different. They're going to be ready. I think I was so impressed with Seattle's defense. They might have to get a few tune-ups on offense. I don't think they played that well on offense. But I guess given my druthers in the NFL, I'd rather have a bye. In the college ranks, looking at the statistics, I'd rather be playing.
How about you, Mike?
Well, I would take the bye in the pros because it's only 1 week. The problem with the college football playoffs, some of these teams have been off for a month. That's different, all these guys had the byes. They didn't play since probably the end of November, middle November, so that's a heck of a long time to be off. I mean, I don't care, how good you are, so it kind of showed it in the college ranks, while the pros are only off a week.
All right, let me kind of just whet your appetite a little bit. It's the marquee matchup tonight, winner take all. Steelers' superior head-to-head record. Holder, they maintain a historic edge in this rivalry. Going back to 1996, 37-27. They also historically have dominated in the playoffs, winning 3 of the 4 matchups against Baltimore. The big question is he's back, but he's never really done all that well against the Steelers. Can Lamar Jackson overcome his struggles against the Steelers? That is a massive question. Greg Diolis.
Yeah, it is a massive question, and we'll find out tonight for sure. But I don't think we're getting 100% of Lamar Jackson, and that's the unfortunate part. If you're a Ravens fan, or if you're like me who wants to stir up controversy, it's hard to say, is a less than 100% Lamar Jackson the right thing for the Ravens to do, or should they go with Huntley and rely on their running game?
By the way, just to let everybody know, he's 3-5 against them in his career, so something to think about. And in these underdog matchups, Mike Tomlin, 35-17 in the regular season. He's done pretty well as an underdog. Go ahead, Doug. You first, Ted. Go ahead.
Well, you made a great statement. You said Lamar, he's back. The problem is his back. How durable is he going to be in this game? And if it were me as the head coach, I'd play Huntley because he's done awfully well, and they look better than they have all year last week. So I'm not so sure having Lamar back is the worst thing for the Steelers.
Michael, go ahead.
Well, my thing is how the Steelers going to play. Most playoff games, and people are saying this is like a playoff game, they come out slow and get behind. That's a big key to me, how we play in the first quarter. Quarterback-wise, I like both of their quarterbacks, but, Huntley, I think, has only beat us 1 time. He's played a good amount against us. I think the key is we got to stop the running game. That to me is the big thing. We got to stop. their great running game.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had 216 yards against the Packers, but they did not have Parsons in the lineup. One more thing, and then we'll come back and start picking our weekly winners against the spread. Question is, has this matchup changed in the modern era? Traditionally defined by defense, recent matchups that featured high-stakes scenarios for playoff positioning. Games frequently decided by razor-thin margins with an average differential 3.8 points in recent contests. Which team do you think will dominate in the trenches? Let's begin again with you. Go ahead.
We're talking Steelers game. Unfortunately, I don't like the way that the Steelers match up with the running power of the Ravens, so I'm concerned.
By the way, 2009 AFC Championship, one of the big matchups, kind of has a lot of the same flavor this one does, because you either win or you go home. Steelers defeated the Ravens 23-14 on their way to the Super Bowl. All right, Ted, your thoughts in the trenches. Who wins it?
I think Greg said the right thing, and for me, it's their fullback is the key. Because if you follow the fullback, that's where they get their yards. And if they can take him out or at least occupy his blocks, I think they got a shot. Other than that, it's going to be a long time. They better make sure they execute on third down and keep that offense on the bench.
Go ahead, Michael Leon.
Well, big thing, Derek Harmon in the lineup. He's been playing great. He's really helps against the run. He's not getting blown off the ball. He's penetrating. He's taking care of two blocks sometimes. And Cam's really playing well now. So I think I'm anxious to see that matchup.
Listen, I work for groceries because that's all I ever think about is food. Today's National Spaghetti Day, okay? Coons Market, going to run down to Banksville and pick up a few things once we're done here. My question is, when it comes to sauce, do you like it in a ladle on the side, or do you like your spaghetti covered in extra sauce? You first.
Covered in extra sauce with a nice heel of an Italian bread to dip that into the sauce.
All right, at least a half a dozen meatballs to kind of wash it all down. Go ahead, Mike. Do you like sauce on the plate, on your spaghetti, or on the side, or both?
No, I like it on the spaghetti, and my wife makes a great meat sauce. I love having the meat in the sauce.
All right, go ahead, Teddy. Well, how do you like it?
I like it drenched in the spaghetti with one meatball and one Italian sausage on the side.
One of the best Italian restaurants around, Casa de Emanuele, Mulberry Street in East Liverpool, where they will be watching the game today. Teddy, before I go, tomorrow night I got a big show. The night after, of course, he'll be sworn in at 1 o'clock. Inauguration ceremonies later in the day. Our beloved Corey O'Connor, the son of Bob and Judy, going to be sworn in as the 62nd mayor in the city of Pittsburgh. I couldn't be more happy. Tomorrow night in the 7 o'clock hour, I will have longtime political analyst John Delano, KDKA Television, out of retirement to talk about his father and talk about him moving forward. And also Joe Mystic, a professor of law, Thomas Klein University, of course, Duquesne. And we're going to be talking to him about his time, Sophie Maslow. He wrote an article recently in the Trib talking about a young Pete Flaherty. We talked yesterday about some of the similarities of these two young men going in to become mayor. But I think we both agree he may be young, but he's qualified, and I think he's going to do great things for the city of Pittsburgh. Your friend Corey O'Connor becoming the next mayor in Pittsburgh tomorrow. Your thoughts?
Well, he's grown up as kind of the mayor of Pittsburgh. I mean, his dad would take Corey everywhere. I mean, a great family. He has seen every aspect of Pittsburgh that you could from the different positions that he held. He's young, but he's enthusiastic, and I think he's going to take the problems that Pittsburgh has, which are many, and start solving them one by one. I'm just excited for the city of Pittsburgh.
So am I, for sure. Okay, we'll come back, pick our weekly winners against the spread. We always go betrivers.net. Great place to watch all your sporting events, and remember, just a few shekels to keep you on the edge of your seat. Greg Diolis, Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Entertainment, Mike Leon, Leon's Billiard and more, and Ted and I working for food today, as always, on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Don't forget Coons Market, McKnight Road, Banksville Road, 600 varieties of your favorite beers, microbrews, craft beers, and wine, grab-and-go food, everything for that home or away tailgate. Tonight, Steelers and Ravens. Winner, take all. We'll be back.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA.
Oh, man, I'm not insured. Wait, I'll get insurance and report the claim later.
Lying to an insurance company about your auto accident is insurance fraud, a felony, and you will get caught. Over the last 5 years, Pennsylvania's insurance fraud investigators made 2,200 arrests, collecting more than $15 million in restitution, fines, and court costs. Suspicious claims get investigated and prosecuted. Visit helpstopfraud.org.
Sponsored by the Pennsylvania Insurance Fraud Prevention Authority.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking, only $59.99. Sunday, January 11th, the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, real quick transfer portal before we get back to the pros. I guess we are talking about the pros. What about our beloved Pitt? I know Bowles left. I know Holstein left. What else?
Yeah, Rasheem Bowles is moving. And, word on the street is Ohio State had been after him all during the regular season, and that's where he'll end up. Holstein is going to leave, which is not unexpected, and God bless him. Good for him. He made some money as a Panther, and he'll go and make some probably at a Power 4 school, I would think, although he struggled a little bit this year. And then you lose Reed to the NFL. Which not unexpected. You still have Turner, who's pretty good. Kenny Johnson is going to be a blow to them. I thought he was one of the long line of great receivers, although his season this year wasn't as good as I think he was anticipating it to be. So those are kind of the headlines, and we haven't heard what's happening with regard to incoming guys, but it's very early.
All right, here we go. Let's get going. Pick our weekly winners against the spread. We always go betrivers.net. How do we fare going into Week 18?
So this is an interesting matchup, not to add any pressure to you guys, but going into this week, Mike and Ted were tied for the lead in our little program here at 127 to 129. Rob, you were one game behind those guys, and I'm an afterthought. But as of yesterday, however, you guys all picked Carolina correctly because you had you were getting 3 and they only lost by 2, so you guys were all good. And then last night, Mike had Seattle, and you guys both had San Francisco. So Mike now has a 1-game lead on Teddy and a 2-game lead on you. So the pressure's on, fellas.
All right, here we go. Let's see how we can have a photo finish here and make it interesting. Tennessee getting 13.5 against Jacksonville. Talk about a difference of 2 seasons, and Trevor Lawrence playing like a Pro Bowler and a future Hall of Famer. I think that new coach, Liam Cohen, has had a lot to do with that, but I'm still taking Tennessee. Too many points. Cam Ward wants to finish the season as a winner to give Tennessee and whoever the next coach will be something to think about. Give me Tennessee getting 13.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee, too, because I think Jacksonville will be resting some guys.
All right, go ahead, Michael Leon.
It is a lot of points, but Jacksonville still can win the AFC South with the win today. So I think they're playing really, really well, and they got, that's a heck of a carrot to get. So I'm going to take Jacksonville minus the points.
All right, up next, Giants getting 3.
I'm going to get Teddy.
Oh, Teddy, go ahead, Ted. I was thinking ahead to something else. My bad. Go ahead.
No problem. I think Jacksonville's going to come out playing for everything they got. They want that position. Tennessee, they'll give it a game, but I got to go with Jacksonville given the points.
Giants getting 3 against Dallas. I will take the Giants spotted 3. Go ahead, Greg.
What's the you said you got Giants in 1G. I just don't know for sure what's is anybody playing for jobs here? The coaching staff is
they don't even have a coach in New York.
Yeah, so it's kind of a coin flip game. I'll go Giants just because it's in New York.
All right, go ahead, Mike Leon.
I am going to take the Cowboys. They're the better team in my opinion, so I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Teddy.
I like the Giants playing in New York. I'm going to go with them.
Green Bay getting 12 against Minnesota. I'm going to take the Packers getting 12.
You go Green Bay. I'll go, oh, boy. Why would they be? I'll go Minnesota.
All right. Go ahead, Mike Leon.
Yeah, I know that's a lot of points, but they're playing their third-string quarterback, the Packers. So I'm going to, and McCarthy's in there. He's trying to keep his job. I'm going to take the Vikings.
All right, Teddy.
Yeah, I like the Vikings on this. I think Green Bay is going to kind of pack it in.
Indianapolis getting 10 against Houston. I will take Indianapolis just for the heck of it. By the way, something I was thinking while he was playing, he will not be playing today, but I think it makes sense. There are some NFL teams actually looking at Phillip Rivers about possibly becoming a coach, whether a coordinator or a head coach. I don't think that's a bad idea.
I don't know. You go from coaching a high school team to already being a coordinator in the NFL. I'm not a fan.
Vince Lombardi did it. No, just kidding. All right. I am taking... Nobody laughed at that? I thought that was good. All right. I am going to take Indianapolis getting 10. Ted finally showed up. Go ahead, Greg.
You can have them. I'll take Houston.
All right. Mike Leon, go.
Gotta love that Houston D. I'm going with the Texans.
Yeah, they are ferocious. Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, I like Houston. They're for real.
All right, so here's the next question. All of my friends who love the Browns, and I got many, they want Stefanski out. Does he survive no matter what they do today, or is he gone?
No, I think they clean house the entire administration, everybody. Yeah.
Mike, what do you think happens in Cleveland after today's game? Go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a horrible coach. I think there's a lot of meddling in the. It seems like it to me, at least. This quarterback situations for years has been a mess. But yeah, they'll probably clean house though.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's them.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, they've got to catch up with coaches as to the new quarterbacks they've had. So they'll get a new coach. They got some great draft picks. They had a great draft last year. Watch out for the Browns if they get the right situation.
But I would hope what they do is that they know who the new coach is going to be instead of just firing this guy in this administration and not knowing who you're going to next, because then that just creates a dumpster fire.
All right, Mike Brown will not spend the money, so Taylor will survive this one, but I don't know how he did. It's been a deplorable year. Even though Burrow did get hurt, still just not enough, especially on the defensive side of the football. You're the head coach. You got to make sure that doesn't happen moving forward. I'm going to take Cincinnati spotting Cleveland 9.5 because I think Cleveland is a dumpster fire, sad to say.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland and root for your buddy Shador.
All right, go ahead, Mike Leon.
I'm taking the Browns. I mean, they didn't look too bad last week defensively, so I'm going to take the Browns with 9.5.
Teddy.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati. I think Burrow's going to come out and try and make a statement.
All right.
You guys think Garrett gets the sack record today?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. He didn't get it last week.
All right, New Orleans getting 4 against Atlanta. New Orleans wins. Tampa Bay's in. Falcons win. Carolina is in. I'm going to go with New Orleans and Shuck, the young quarterback, getting 4. Quickly, Greg.
I'll go New Orleans.
How about you, Mike Leon?
I'm going New Orleans. I love the Tyler, and I love the way they've been playing this second half of the season.
Teddy.
Yeah, I'm going New Orleans. I like this quarterback. I think you might want to watch out for him next year.
All right, short break. We'll come back. Up next, we have got Arizona getting 14.5 against the Rams. Still to come, Steelers Sunday night matchup. Winner take all. Winner, loser go home. Steelers getting 3.5. BetRivers.net. Back with more in a moment.
Folks, we're joined again by John Diagardi of Rome Monument. John, what is bundling?
When a family is planning a funeral, sometimes cemetery salespeople will talk to them about bundling or combining products with their services. They may pressure a family, telling them they can get a substantial discount by buying everything from the cemetery.
Is this not a good idea?
Not when it comes to the monument. When there is a middleman involved, you're paying an inflated price, even when you think you're getting a discount.
John, this is something families really need to know.
I'm going to be as direct as I can be about this. At Rome, we are the manufacturer. No middleman is involved. Our artists and craftsmen make your memorial from start to finish right at our facility. you've eliminated the middleman and saved as much as 50%.
Friends, you can learn more at one of Rome Monument's 9 showrooms or visit RomeMonuments.com.
Pittsburgh Regional Transit is now hiring full-time bus drivers. It's a great place to accelerate your career. We offer great pay and terrific benefits like healthcare, paid vacation time, dental, vision, and more. We're even offering a starting bonus for those who qualify. Call 412-566-5162 to pre-register for our upcoming hiring event on Friday, January 16th. Candidates may receive an offer that same day. Go to rideprt.org/careers to learn more. PRT is an equal opportunity employer.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking. Only $59.99. Weight loss hypnosis Sunday, January 11th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Pittsburgh West and Green Tree at 11 a.m. Stop smoking hypnosis at 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. Walk-ins welcome. Register 30 minutes before.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
It's the KDKA Radio High School Basketball Game of the Week, powered by Bowser Chevrolet. Every Friday at 6, we bring you the best players, the best sounds of the game, and the best matchups in the WPIAL. This week, Mount Lebanon hosts Imani Christian Academy, presented by Invisalign. Allegheny Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine of high school basketball, and brought to you by tobacco-free Adagio Health. Only on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. 4 people were injured following a house fire this morning in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt. Cause of the fire under investigation. Police in Aliquippa investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. Incident happened Saturday night around 9 o'clock. 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they arrested 21-year-old Judea Wincop in connection to the stabbing. Well, there's still many questions about the U.S.'s role in Venezuela following yesterday's overnight U.S. military raid that captured President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Here's CBS's Linda Kenyon.
On CBS's Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan asked Secretary of State Marco Rubio to clarify President Trump's remark that the U.S. will temporarily run Venezuela.
So just to be clear, there is no plan for U.S. occupation of this country of nearly 30 million people.
The president always retains optionality on anything and on all of these matters. He certainly has the ability and the right under the Constitution of the United States to act against imminent and urgent threats.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are expected to be arraigned Monday in a New York courtroom on charges including drug trafficking. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
KDKA Radio News Time, 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, You can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-747-7676. 800-747-7676. Again, that's 800-747-7676.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly cloudy this afternoon, the high near 30. Mainly cloudy tonight, low 24. Not as cold tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high 45. Considerable clouds Tuesday, a little rain in the afternoon, high 49. We're AccuWeather. I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, here we go. Big weekend. We'll be back on Monday to talk about all things. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch you on Monday. Right here, KDK.
All right, the rest of these games, no one's really doing anything. Maybe seeding, and you also have Vegas hoping to get beat by Kansas City so they get the first overall pick. But Mendoza and Sin City, that holy roller who I like, but him in Las Vegas,
he can always find a church somewhere.
That's right. He can repent like the rest of us. All right, here we go. It is Arizona getting 14.5 against the Rams. I'm taking Arizona just for the sheer fact that I want to see Arizona do something positive before their dismal season is up and they start looking for their next quarterback. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, just because it's a lot of points, I'll go Cardinals.
Go ahead there, Mike Leon.
I agree. I'm a Rams fan, but 14.5 is a lot of points. I'm going to take Arizona.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, just to take the other side, I'm going Rams given the points.
Here's the other side, just for sheer revenge and meanness and just karma. I'm taking Detroit getting 4 against Chicago. Because they're playing for nothing but revenge.
Yeah, I guess they are. I'll go Chicago because they're at home.
All right, Mike Leon.
I'm like the Bears myself. I'm taking Chicago.
All right, go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, I'm a Detroiter, but I go Chicago on this. It's just they're too good. Detroit's their Daubers are down, so I got to go to Chicago.
Chargers getting 14 against Denver. I'm taking the Chargers. I just am not a believer in at all the AFC Western champs, Denver Broncos. Go ahead.
Yeah, why is this line so out of whack?
Herbert's playing, isn't he?
You guys know better.
He's not playing. Go ahead, Mike. I didn't know that.
No, I don't think Herbert's playing. That's why the line's so high.
Must be the reason. All right, so go ahead there.
I'll go Denver just for fun.
Go ahead there, Mike Leon.
I'm going Denver because they can get home field all the way, so this means a lot to them.
All right, go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers just simply because there's bad blood and that's too many points. So they'll come up. I don't care who's the quarterback right now.
All right, so you guys, especially you're the brain trust when it comes to NFL contracts and money. Miami getting 13 against New England. New England's already won the division. Miami will not start 2. I'm going to take Miami. That's a lot of points. We're paying for pride. A lot of speculation. They've even talked about maybe Lamar, who grew up in Florida, maybe finding a way to go play in Miami. That's why I think it's going to come down to either him or Harbaugh. One is going to stay, the other is going to go. How do you get out of that Tua contract and make room for another quarterback? How do you do that?
Well, you hope that you can trade it to somewhere and that you can get somebody to at least eat some of the money. I don't think that's very likely. You can probably trade him, but
who wants him?
Well, hey. This is a guy that was highly sought after coming out of school. He has been productive at times. There are a lot of offense coordinators who think they can get that. This is the guy that chased Hurts out of Alabama.
I know.
So it's not like he doesn't have some pedigree.
I'd be concerned with the 11 concussions, though.
Yeah. Well, but that gives you another question of what's Lamar Jackson worth?
Can I tell you guys something, and you may disagree with me? I think Lamar Jackson, as this season goes, I think he's reached his ceiling. I don't see I think if he ends up going to Miami, the rest of his career is mediocre, and I think he may even cost himself the possibility of the Hall of Fame.
Well, how's he a Hall of Fame guy? He hasn't won anything yet.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because he never gets a chance to play in the big bowl. Anyway, I'm taking Miami, getting 13 against New England. Greg?
I will go with the Patriots.
All right, Mike Leon.
Patriots are going for that top seed. It means more to them. I'm taking New England.
Go ahead, Teddy.
I'm going to take Miami. Too many points.
Vegas getting 4.5 against Kansas City. Kansas City stinks, but I'm taking Kansas City because they're going to lay down and take the 9 count and eventually get the 10 count. Vegas does not want to win, even though they may say they do. If they lose this one, they guarantee themselves the first pick in the upcoming draft to be held here in Pittsburgh. Go ahead, Greg.
I'll go Chiefs.
Okay, go ahead there, Mike Leon.
Raiders.
Teddy.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs.
All right, this story is Philadelphia. As far as not necessarily what they do today, they're a 3.5-point favorite against Washington. I'm taking Philly. But are they legit to win the Super Bowl again, or is there just too many questions that need to be answered, Greg?
I don't think anybody in the NFC can win the Super Bowl, so no, they're not.
All right, go ahead, Mike. I'm going to get your pick in a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I think in the NFC, yeah, I think it's a battle. But I'm telling you, I like Seattle in the NFC. I really think they're a team, and I like the Bears too.
All right, go ahead, Teddy. Some thoughts on that, then we'll get everybody's pick. Go ahead.
Well, I like Philly in this game, but I would not want to go against Seattle. I mean, that defense is scary.
All right.
So I don't agree that the NFC is out. I think that Seattle team may be the one to watch.
All right, Teddy, they're bringing back the echoes of the Legion of Boom in Seattle, aren't they?
Yeah, they got a new name, though. I can't remember what it is.
Sherman was great. He was great. All right, reminded me a lot of a young Mel Blount. Okay, I'm taking Philly. Ted's taking Philly. Who are you taking, Greg?
I'm going to take the Commanders.
Mike, who do you like again?
Philly.
Okay, before we come back and pick our winner in the Steelers matchup, let's talk about who, what, when, where, why, and how. Some of the coaching positions that you believe will be open and possible replacements. I'm going to throw one out that'll shock the world. I think the Giants are still considering Marcus Freeman, as is the Steelers. I don't think that new contract means anything. But here's the one that would literally just set the NFL on its ear. Ryan Day leaves Ohio State and goes to the Giants, or even Kirk Cignetti ends up in Cleveland. So, hey, listen, got to stir the pot. That's what they pay me for.
Steelers move on from Mike Tomlin and hire Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator from Indiana.
Ooh.
Former Pitt wide receiver in Norwin.
Like it.
Ooh.
Hey, Rob, I really like your Cignetti pick. That would not surprise me at all with what that guy's done.
I can die and go to heaven peacefully. Ted Arnott actually agreed with me. Yay! Whoa!
That means he's got no shot.
Well, but what about the grandson of Don Shula, defensive coordinator out there in the Rams country of Los Angeles, Chris? They've been mentioning him maybe even coming to the Steelers, but I don't want a defensive coach coming to the Steelers. I don't. I want it to be an offensive-minded coach, but I don't even know who that is, but I would like a Marcus Freeman. I would like a Chris Shula. I don't even know who could replace Mike Tomlin, but whatever happens with Mike Tomlin, I hope he gets to do it on his own terms. That's my thought process.
Well, if you're dipping into the college ranks, if you remember when Pitt was looking to hire a new coach, Mario Cristobal's name came up quite often, and in that scenario. So maybe the city of Pittsburgh revisits the Mario Cristobal.
Okay, so let's put this card on the table, the ace in the deck, because he's a knowledgeable guy. They've even talked about maybe he returns to the silver and black. Is Gruden going to ever get a coaching job again in any aspect of football, college or pro? Head coaching job?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the
ship is
the things that have gone on were too bad.
That's coming from a guy with a law degree. What do you think, Mike?
I'd love to see him come back somewhere, but yeah, I mean, he's been out of coaching for a while now. It seems like he's having fun too. So I don't know about that.
But it's got to be killing him. I mean, as much fun as he's got right now, that guy just loves to be with a whistle on the sidelines coaching. It's got to be really tough for him. I wouldn't want to be him when he has to deal with missing the game as much as he does.
Well, and the other thing is he hasn't removed himself that far from the game because he's stayed, studying these guys. He's been a quarterback guru and prepping guys for the draft and things of that nature. So he has kept himself relevant, even though he's been out for quite some time.
Any other scenarios, wish list, different teams? Who do you think? Who do you like? Anything happening? Tampa Bay, Bowles, is he going to be there? What about the Atlanta coach? Will Bill Belichick come back to the NFL? All sorts of things. I love this type of talk, by the way. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, there's nobody that's coming to the top of my mind, but I think Bowles is safe at Tampa Bay by winning that game yesterday, even if they don't, get the other parts of the scenario. I don't think that they move on from him.
And boy, Houston, Mike mentioned it earlier. D'Amico Ryan, that defense they have down there, forget about C.J. Stroud. That defense could catapult them right to the championship game, and they could end up playing the Steelers to start the postseason. Any other things on the wish list? You first, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, I would like to see for the Pitt to bring in some portal guys. That's what I like to see. Very disappointing year, in my opinion.
Yeah, don't we have somebody with deep pockets in Pittsburgh? What's up with that? We don't even get the sniff anymore.
Well, they're funded. So they don't have the problem. They got $22 million that they can spend, and
so it's just not attractive enough.
Maybe. It's early yet. The portal just opened. It's only been open 2 days, so now there are some schools that may have jumped the gun a little bit and been negotiating with kids early. I don't think that that Pitt was doing any of that kind of impropriety, but I do know that there are schools in the NCAA that were talking to kids a lot earlier, convincing them to enter the portal.
So let's have. Why don't you ask Greg? Go ahead, jump in here.
No, I was just going to say, what about our quarterback? What do you think? Is he going to be staying?
Oh yeah. The starter will stay. Holstein will leave. But the starters here, they'll get something done with it.
Teddy, what about your guy Whittingham? Some of the good signs are that a lot of these guys have stayed at Michigan. Do you think he has a chance to retain some of this talent?
Yeah, I think he does. He's lost some, but the interesting thing is a lot of kids from Utah want to come over there. So I think he's not a long-term solution. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a solid player. But I think in balance, they'll be okay. I don't think it's going to be as bad as we were kind of talking last week. But let's face it, Big Ten's tough. They will lose some good players. I think the quarterback will stay then.
It makes you wonder, though, with Underwood, does Portnoy and those guys that paid him the multi-million dollars to come there, did they feel like it was a good investment? Because they didn't get a lot out of it this year.
All right, I got to jump in here because I want to get these guys to give us their pick as far as the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl. So in the Fiesta Bowl, who do you like? You got Miami against Ole Miss. You first, Mike. By the way, Miami favored by 3.5. Go ahead.
That's tough. I love the way Miami's playing right now. You notice in these games, the defenses have really taken over a lot of the games. I'm going to go with Miami.
How about you, Teddy?
I like Ole Miss. I hope they win just to shove it somebody's rear end. So I just like Ole Miss. I like the character that they've got and the way they're playing. But it's going to be a tough game.
All right, up next, the Peach Bowl. You've got Oregon and Indiana favored by 4 with a Heisman Trophy quarterback. You first, Mike.
Wow, that's to me the two best teams right now going. Maybe the best coaches also. It's tough to go against Indiana. They're just amazing.
All right, go ahead, Teddy. Your call.
I like Cignetti in Indiana. I think they do it. What a great thing for a team that was so bad 3 or 4 years ago. Unfortunately, it shows you what the portal can do.
All right. Cignetti, next coach for the Cleveland Browns. That would make a headline in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. All right, short break. We're coming back to wrap it up. Steelers getting 3.5. Winner take all. AFC North matchup tonight against Baltimore. Sunday Night Football Spotlight. It is here at AccuShore Stadium, and we'll have our thoughts and our picks on the other side. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company, larger than light, and brought to you by Butler Transit Authority. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg with 6 Pittsburgh locations: Beachview, East End, Carnegie, Robinson, Southside, and Wexford. Always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. New York style, yins are made. Sliceonbroadway.com. New to Rivers Casino? Join now and earn up to $1,000 free slot play. Stop by Rush Rewards on your next visit to start earning today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio.
Details at KDKA-radio.com.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, one other game I want to get to, and I kind of saved this for the last because I, too, think this is another window is closing, and if it can't be the Steelers, I wish it would be Buffalo. So Buffalo pretty much in a meaningless game today. They're spotting the Jets 10. There's already people saying Aaron Glenn should be gone with the Jets, and I'm not necessarily saying I disagree with that. But the Jets going to have to do something massive. But the Bills, I'm going to take them today for the sheer fact of taking them. So before you give me your pick, they're spotting the Jets 10. Is this the maybe final year for Josh Allen in a Buffalo Bills uniform to actually, because Mahomes is out, Lamar could be out, that they could actually compete and win the Super Bowl?
No, I mean, I think they could make a run, but I don't think it's the end of the road for Allen. I think he's still one of the upper echelon. He's probably a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the league.
All right, who you taking?
I'll take Buff.
All right, Mike, who you taking?
I'm taking Buffalo.
All right, Teddy?
I got to go with Buffalo.
All right, so Steelers getting 3.5. I'm going to take the Steelers getting 3.5, but my heart's telling me, why don't you take Baltimore, but the Steelers, cover? I could do that too, but I can't go against the Steelers, especially in a winner-take-all and in a game that could be the last ever coached by Mike Tomlin. So give me the Steelers getting 3.5 against Baltimore. Mr. Gainwell, run, Gainwell, lots of yardage, time of possession. Aaron, just get the ball to your tight ends and let's get a win.
Now, it's too much fun to continue the season when the Steelers are in the playoffs. There's no way I would ask for or hope that Baltimore wins this game because it's better around Pittsburgh if the Steelers are in the playoffs, right?
Monday morning, the first full Monday in the new year, you wake up with a smile on your face. and we sell a lot of groceries at Coons Market. All right, go ahead, Mike Leon.
No, I agree with Greg. Yeah, it's fun when the Steelers are in there. I don't know. Being home underdogs, I'm not saying they're going to win, but these two teams, it's going to be a field goal game. I'm taking the Steelers. I really am, and I hope Aaron has a good game today.
All right, Teddy.
I got to go along with both those guys. I think it's a field goal game. It almost always is. What was the statistic? The average margin is 3.58 points over the last how many years? We're getting 3.5 points as a spread. I'm just saying that. Let me ask you guys, just if I may comment.
Yes.
How on earth do you throw those last 3 passes the way Aaron did last week? How does that happen?
Ooh, horrible.
Well, especially when you're throwing it at the Browns' best corner. Denzel Ward's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Why go after him 3 times? That doesn't make sense.
And you got a receiver that, yes, you had some years with him in Green Bay, but you haven't had a whole lot of games with him now. I just don't understand that call. And we wouldn't even be talking about this game if he completes one of those 3 passes.
But that all goes back to DK Metcalf getting suspended.
All right, so let me ask you a couple of scenarios here. So how do you overcome, Teddy, you first? Obviously, tight end Smith, Freiermuth, but how do you overcome not having DK Metcalf? Go ahead. When he was such a big source in the first matchup just a couple of weeks ago.
Well, the unfortunate part isn't just DK Metcalf; it's Washington.
Yes,
because he was the top target, one of the top targets. So you got to have Freiermuth. Freiermuth picked up last week, played a heck of a game. He's got to do it again. And honestly, I think you keep Gainwell out as a receiver more than you do a running back, and you keep Warren in as the running back most of the time. That's the only way you can do it.
Ooh, the two-headed monster running back / receiver.
How about you, Mike? What do you do? What do you do, Mike?
I agree a lot with Ted there. I like that idea. I think we got to start throwing the ball to Freiermuth a lot more. I mean, I think he's been neglected the whole year pretty much. You got to throw to him. But you got to get that good running game so they're not crowding the box, so they don't have 8, 9, 10 guys, within a couple yards of the field. So if we can run the ball, that will open everything up a little more.
How about Dylan Cook? Let's just talk about the underdog getting an opportunity and making the most out of it. So you've done this many times, reclamation projects, and given them a chance, and they've gone on to have multiple years and get a pension in the league. So you've seen it firsthand. But how nice is that story, Greg?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, not only is he going to garner some decent money, but being able to play left tackle at the level he's played. I mean, that may be a $30 million season that he's had.
Pretty special. Adam Frazier's played a little bit better. So, okay, how do you stop Derrick Henry? Obviously, I think Patrick Queen's going to be a big part of it along with Cam. You're going to have Alex Highsmith slipping to the outside so he can't kick it to the outside. How do you stop Derrick Henry? You first, Greg.
Well, one of the big things is you're getting T.J. Watt back, right?
Are we?
Well, sure? From what we hear, he's not listed as out, so at least he's going to be, have a uniform on, and that makes people have to pay attention to him. That should help slide everything up one notch. The only problem I don't like about it is that gets Jack Sawyer off the field, and he's been really coming on and making himself a presence.
He has, for sure. All right, Mike, some of those scenarios. Go ahead.
I'm a big D-line guy, so I think the D-line's got to play well. We can't get blown back into our linebackers. Everybody got to hold their gap. We got to get a little bit of penetration and just let those Patrick Queen, keep the people off Queen, let him make the tackles.
Well, all I can say is it'll be interesting to say the least. So, Aaron Rodgers, if you could take a bet at Rivers Casino right now, no matter how it ends tonight, do you want him back or does he come back, Greg?
Do I want him back? Yes. Does he come back? We ain't going to know until June, probably.
I think he comes back, and I do want him back. Go ahead, Mike. What do you think?
I would take him back, as long as it's not like last week's game. But I really love his leadership. I really love his leadership and all that, And I think a second year here with another good receiver added, we can be kind of special next year.
And by the way, if you're looking for something for the game room, Aaron, you and your lovely bride, we've got it for you at Leon's Billiards and More. And we'll give you a bit.
Come on out and see us, Aaron. Yeah, we'll take care of you.
We'll hook him up.
How about the rumor that his wife doesn't exist? That kills me.
Yeah, I tried.
Nobody's seen her.
Yeah, I tried that. It doesn't work. They pop up just when you least expect it. All right, Teddy, before you go, if you could take a bet, Tomlin, stay or go. What do you think?
I think Tomlin takes a job with some TV station, maybe Prime, maybe ESPN. I don't know.
I want him to
we
coach.
Get a young coach. Aaron Rodgers leaves, and we get a young quarterback to go with the young coach.
Boy, that Shanahan idea that you had, that's a good idea, Mr. Diolis.
Or maybe Tomlin leaves and Aaron Rodgers becomes a player coach.
Listen to me. I don't have a problem with that. I think these quarterbacks, like a Phillip Rivers and him,
run their own show.
Yeah, why not? All right,
he's basically the offensive coordinator right now, anyway.
And didn't we read his lips last week? At one point, he was like, "Don't tell me any more plays. I'll take care of it."
Listen, he would be great at the Tuesday press conference too. That guy, he just handles the press beautifully, man. I love watching him work.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Let's just hope for the best. But either way, we'll be back to do it again next weekend, Wild Card Weekend. What's on the menu, Counselor?
We're going to warm up some of the pork and sauerkraut and all that other good stuff from New Year's Eve.
You know what you should do, and I highly recommend. You go to Coons Market, get some chili, that Wendy's chili in a can. Get yourself some Silver Star hot dogs, chili dogs today.
Yeah.
I tried.
I'm going with my pork. I got it already set.
All right, yeah, nothing like pork. The other white meat, delicious. Yeah. Coons Market, Prairie Fresh. All right, stay with us. News next. Hey, folks, back all week, 6 to 10. Have a great day, and let's go Steelers.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
And one of the things that you've heard a lot about, especially toward the second half of last year, is changes in the healthcare world. CEO of MediConnect, we know him very well, Lance O'Brien.
Things get really, really difficult for some people. So who's being impacted the most? One is early retirees, and usually your middle class.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company.
Only 1 in 5 people with autism are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do. Like, what about a programmer?
That's a job for someone with autism.
How about a healthcare worker?
Yep, that is too. People with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas. Introducing WIN by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
What about a ranch hand?
To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife are in custody and will face a judge later this week. KCBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez with more on the mission to take Maduro.
Capturing Maduro was an audacious snatch-and-grab operation in Venezuela in the early hours of Saturday morning. A swarm of U.S. military helicopters, special forces units known as the Night Stalkers, descended on Caracas. Explosions lit up the sky, and within 2.5 hours of U.S. forces touching down, Maduro and his wife were in custody.
Earlier today on ABC's This Week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke about the U.S. operation in Venezuela that resulted in the capture of Maduro and his wife.
They are running out of storage capacity. In a few weeks, they're going to have to start pumping oil unless they make changes. And that leverage that we have with the armada of boats that are currently positioned allow us to seize any sanctioned boats coming into or out of Venezuela, loaded with oil or on its way in to pick up oil.
Pittsburgh police investigating a reported stabbing early this morning in Lawrenceville. It happened around 4:15 this morning along Butler Street. The victim had a wound to the rib cage. That person was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Police say so far the victim has been uncooperative with the investigation. 4 people were injured following a house fire early this morning in West Mifflin. That fire began around 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Wood Street. No word on the conditions of those who were hurt. No word on what caused that fire. Police in Aliquippa investigating a stabbing at the Valley Terrace Apartments. The incident happened around 9 o'clock Saturday night. A 24-year-old man was found with a stab wound to the abdomen. He was transported to the hospital. Police say they arrested 21-year-old Judea Wincup in connection to the stabbing. Well, major changes coming starting today that will affect the daily commute of thousands of Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus riders. News Radio KDKA's David Ballarado has more.
The outbound bus lane on Fifth Avenue, which runs against traffic in Oakland from Carlo to just past the University of Pittsburgh, is being discontinued. Instead, outbound buses will flow along with general traffic on Forbes Avenue. Eventually, the curbside lane on Forbes will become a buses-only lane. PRT Chief Development Officer Amy Silberman says this project is focused on efficiency.
Today, they get very bunched up because they have unreliable conditions. Once they get bunched up, we end up with big gaps in service where you might wait a really long time to then get on a really overcrowded bus.
PRT admits you should expect heavier congestion at first on Forbes, but PRT police and others will be monitoring to make sure traffic flows, and they'll be watching out for illegal loading and unloading. In all,